Why? I find reading a hobby that I love so much, where I get to be lost in my own world, and where I get to be the Wonder Woman of my story. The book that I'm currently reading is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, who is considered to be the father of the recruitment industry. And I figured this is the perfect time to practice what I've been reading. So I'm going to be reading one of the chapters that I liked. Excuse me if so one of the chapters says how to make a first impression. As the author says, and I quote, the ancient Chinese were wise a lot, wise in the ways of the world. They had a proverb that you and I ought to cut out and paste inside our hearts. It goes like this: a man without a smiling face must not open a shop. As simple as that. Your smile is a messenger of your goodwill. Your smile brightens the lives of all who say it. To someone who has seen a dozen people frown, scold, turn their faces away. And I find that most dominating when we are here at campus, we're always frowning. Why? Because we are famous. So your smile is like the sun breaking through the clouds. This is one that I liked, so keep on smiling. So what do I love to read? Is one of the cultures that I adopted from my sister, my older sister. At home we are 6 and I'm the 4th child. So that is not one of the cultures that I adopted from her. I got to adopt another one of dreaming. She would always tell us that she always dreams about traveling and exploring, and she loved to read, of course, and at night she was always debating with my dad that French is the language of philosophers. And I've always thought it's Latin. And on that story of dreaming, she would always tell us that she loved to travel, and she did accomplish it. She got a job that allowed her to travel and to explore. And she passed on that culture to my brother, who considered himself the Einstein of the technology world. He loved everything about technology. That guy was always in his computer. Even at midnight, you find him in the computers. And he got to accomplish his dreams, of course, when he graduated as the first of the class of an MSAI in here at CMU. He passed on that culture to one of my other brother. He's the 3rd child, I'm the 4th. He would always tell us he had a business. One day he would just wake up, I have a business idea. We're like, okay, what's next? He would always tell us that maybe I'm going to make chairs from the car tires, the old car tires, and I'll make a chair from it. He'll be like, oh, that's convincing. But then one day he opened his own business and he's rocking the business for it. And I love that for him. And that culture was supposed to be passed on me, but I was afraid. When it came to finding my own path and finding my own career, I was always afraid because my dad would always put the flag on what choices I would make. If he said we are going to study physics and geography, that was my choice for secondary. If we say that we are going to continue into the engineering world, that was my choice for our university. And at some point, I felt like I had no voice. But then my brother said, you have every right to dare to dream. You have every right to continue on with what you loved. That's when he told me that you should apply for CMU. I was like, are you kidding me? I had no background in computer science. And one day while I was working with my brother on a night walk, I told him, as we were going through our home, we could see the CMU campus. I told my little brother that, hey, one day I'll go to CMU. He was like, yeah, like an older brother. And I was like, yes. And I told him we are going to study at MIT. He doesn't know MIT. tell my boss. Yes, he told me, yeah, I'm going to study astronomy. I was like, oh, that's a new one. and afterwards I went to apply for CMU and I got here. And I was so surprised that you could actually dream and make it happen. I always thought that my books were my getaway, but actually in reality, you have every right to dare to dream and to keep this spark alive. And I am afraid for my little brother that he's going to make it also because he has seen me. So the culture has to be passed on. So to everyone, I'm telling you, keep the hope alive, keep the spark alive, dare to dream, and yeah, you got this.